everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Snakes on the Plane. Today we're here with my girl Eris. This is my holdback Hurricane from last year. And we're going to be investigating my Hurricane Axanthic clutch and the Dinker gene that I believe popped up with it. I'm pretty pessimistic when it comes to Dinkers and them just popping up in collections, but you'll see why I'm pretty optimistic about this one. So anyways, I want to explain a couple things before we show off that Dinker Hurricane Het Axanthic. So what I want to explain first and foremost is the pairing that occurred for this. I had two female Axanthics that were both bred to a Hurricane Het Axanthic. This Hurricane Het Axanthic was actually produced by me. I bred a regular Hurricane from Hans Winter to one of the Axanthic females, and that Axanthic female was actually purchased from JD Constriction, and he actually did not produce her. He bought her, and I'll put a picture of her up right now. You can see that she's really clean. She's almost like fire looking. Her color is there, but the other markers are not. She's just a stunning silver color, extremely clean. So that might be possibly a marker to what's going on. And then it should be worth noting that the Hurricane Het Axanthic, which was her son and is her son, he was like yellow in the egg. I thought he was pastel at first, especially his dorsal. You can see on this regular Hurricane that her dorsal is not any different colored than the rest of her pattern. So really interesting, really cool to begin with. I thought maybe there was something going on, but I thought it could just be polymorphism. And of course, no one to my knowledge has made another Hurricane Het TSK Axanthic. It should also be noted that when you usually make Het TSK Axanthic animals, they almost, or Het Axanthic for that matter, they almost always come out darker. And that's just because that's the Het Axanthic, or that's the Axanthic trying to fight through and become a visual Axanthic. But of course that's not going to happen unless you get the homozygous version. But just wanted to throw this girl out there as a source to the base Hurricane. This is what a normal Hurricane should look like. She's actually on the lower tier of expression. You'll even see that some of the Hurricane Het Axanthic stuff that I have is actually a little bit better expression than she is, but I just still thought that this was important for you guys to see without any possible influence of a Dinker gene. So that was a bit of a long explanation. Sorry about that. I just wanted to get that out there. Without further ado, let's get out the male Hurricane Het Axanthic from the first clutch to compare to this brown girl. And again, remember, he should look like her or darker, but instead this is him. What in the world? He is neon orange. And he just keeps getting more and more orange. And I do not have an explanation for this. You saw pictures of that female. I can even put up, maybe I put up a couple pictures of that male or something. There's absolutely no explanation as to why these two are looking like this. And he's not the only one. Now, I was really careful with who I gave these orange babies to, because he wasn't the only orange baby. And I did already put out the clutch video of him, himself of course, and then his sister, which was just a Het Axanthic that's even more orange. She almost looks super orange dream, but she's, again, there's no possibility of that. My male Hurricane Het Axanthic is absolutely, definitely not orange dream, so there's no possibility of that. I could possibly see the female being that way, but again, no possibility. And then there's an Axanthic male, and he is super clean. He looks just like mom, so I really think he has what's going on there as well. And then I have another Axanthic that I'm gonna get out for you guys here that I held back. Wasn't planning on to, but I mean, I just gotta investigate this, because what the heck is going on? And he is just like, ugh, you'll see. I mean, he is silver. He is more silver than anything I've ever seen, and he has this crazy conjoined pattern. So anyways, I wanted to show you guys the difference here, and I also want to, before I put this girl away because she's getting a little stressed, I wanted to show you guys the difference in the pattern here. You know, this is a lower quality Axanthic, not quality, I mean a little lower expression hurricane. I wouldn't have kept her if I thought she was low quality. And you can see, like, you know, she has some blown out alien heads and stuff, but she doesn't have a lot of full-blown swirls. Now if we look at the male here, he doesn't really have any swirls. I don't think he has a single swirl on his body. I'm pretty sure I've checked him over a couple times. He doesn't have a single swirl. Now he has, like, you know, some weird hurricane marks there. He has some granityness in his pattern. He has some blown out alien heads. And he has, would you look at that, conjoined patterning. What you're gonna see is a big trend in these dinker babies. A lot of this conjoined pattern. Now, again, he has the nice skinnier eye stripes as well, so he definitely is hurricane, 100% sure of that. Don't worry about that. I know you're probably looking at this and being like, Kenzie, are you positive this is a hurricane? I'm positive. I just think that the Het Axanthic, which I know I've talked about this in other episodes, but if you have a het, doesn't matter if it's pied, clown, whatever, if you have a heterozygous gene in your hurricanes, it's going to lower the expression slightly. That's just the way it is. Once you get the visual, like a visual desert ghost hurricane, you can see that those are actually rather nice. They have swirls and whatnot. So that is definitely what's going on, is that Het hurricane, or my goodness, that Het Axanthic is kind of controlling the hurricane. And then I also think that whatever else is going on here, whatever else this other dinker gene is, which I'm not saying for sure there is, but I mean there's a lot of evidence besides this boy. We'll get to the other evidence, but whatever this dinker gene is really controlling the alien heads, because the mother is super clean. The Hurricane Het Axanthic is really controlled like the father of this, and then you'll see that the other animals that are carrying this also have a cleaner pattern to them, and especially when it comes to the tail. You see this guy's tail? Look at how clean these alien heads are. So there's definitely something going on, not just because of this guy. I mean, there's obviously something going on with this guy alone, but with the whole clutch. I'm gonna show you guys the belly as well, as far as like orange dream markers and whatnot. Nothing really too crazy there. And hurricane bellies should be just absolutely littered with specks, and his is clean, pretty clean, not completely but pretty clean. So what I'm going to do right now for you guys is I'm going to put up on the screen some photos of the other clutch mates. So like I said, I was really careful with who they went to. All of these guys are staying local, if not staying with me. The Hurricane Het Axanthic that we've been looking at is actually staying with one of my friends locally. And then what I'm going to show you right now, so those were clutch pictures. What I'm showing you right now is the female Het Axanthic, and this thing is nuts. This thing is burnt orange, and some of these pictures are not taken by me. Some of these pictures are updates from the person that I sold it to locally, and you can just see how crazy orange she is. She's like burnt orange looking. Like, what the heck is going on there? And then what we're gonna look at next are some pictures of the clean Axanthic, and you can just see how clean that Axanthic is. He's also kind of a nice bright color, just like the mom is. Absolutely stunning. Again, some of these pictures are not taken by me, they're taken by my friend that took both the crazy female that you just saw and then also this Axanthic. They're just beautiful, beautiful snakes. And then, of course, we're going to take a look at the other Axanthic. I do want to note, though, that if you guys want to go check out what a normal Axanthic looks like, I mean, of course, you can Google it. Otherwise, you can definitely take a look at the reveal of the Hurricane Axanthic video, because that one has a lot of, actually 3 Axanthic babies in there, and only one of them possibly is carrying the dinker gene, and that one's staying local as well. But I'm just not 100% sure on that. So again, wanted to show that off to you guys. Really think that there's something going on here because the whole clutch had it. And not only did the whole clutch have some sort of weirdness going on, so did the second clutch, which I was just talking about. So I'm gonna go get the weird Axanthic that's his brother, his complete brother. And then we're gonna go look at this guy's half siblings, which again share the same dad, just have a different Axanthic mom. Alrighty, so this is that weird Axanthic, and I think right away you guys can see why I'm calling it that. Do you see that conjoined pattern? Like, what the heck is going on with this? First off, of course, the color is totally whack. And then secondly, like, from his neck all the way down his body, we have a lot of conjoined pattern. And really clean pattern. See what I mean? It's just like cleaning these alien heads. Just like completely erasing the pattern. What the crap on a cracker's going on with that, right? Like, that is so cool. See on this side too? Oh, come here, buddy. And so this one's my holdback. I'm gonna try breeding him to mom and see if we can get this again. There we go. Which is, again, that's gonna be that really clean Axanthic mother that we had. Because I really think that there's something going on with her, and whatever's going on with her, she passed it on to the father of this guy, that Hurricane Het Axanthic. And then when I bred the two of them together, we got visuals of whatever's going on, or maybe even super forms. I have no idea. We gotta just, you know, really deconstruct this thing. So this guy's gonna go to a normal to see if we get any orange babies or anything at all, and then he's also gonna go to his mother. I really like just taking things down to the studs right away when it comes to Dinker Projects, so I always throw things to a normal just to try to make sure we can reproduce what's going on, and why not breed it to mom to, you know, make more visuals and maybe more visuals of whatever the heck this is. So really interesting. I mean, the cleanliness of this, like, if you see my other Axanthics, this is not at all what you're looking for. Like, the banding's there, but the black back that I'm getting, like this whole entire back just looking real nice and like basically all one piece, that is not normal. You usually have it more like broken up like this, with like a little bit of banding on the sides, like all the way down, just all shattered and broken. But for this guy, I mean, he really just has most of it together, really has most of it together here. Again, let's take a look at that belly. Really clean belly, no like OD tracks or anything. I don't know what's going on with this, guys. And again, I'm really sorry for the quality of what the Axanthic looks like. It's hard to catch on video well, but this guy is like, I mean, I don't even have words for how crazy like silver he is, because at the top it's this nice dark silver, and then I'm sure you guys can see the color gradient as it goes down. It gets to this beautiful light silver and then just stark white. Those high whites on the side, what is going on with that too, you know? Like the nice flaming. I just am at a loss. I really don't understand where this animal came from and where the hurricane came from. And this is not a Hurricane Axanthic. I will show you a Hurricane Axanthic. It is much busier than this. It has the hurricane pattern, but it's just Axanthic. It literally looks like the hurricane I showed you at the beginning of the video, but silver. And bright silver too. Where this guy's very dark to white, which is strange. And then also no busyness, no crazy pattern. Even on the dorsal here, it's not crazy at all either. So really strange. Basically the end of this animal is only the only thing as far as the dorsal that kind of has some normalness to it. But even then, like, I mean, look at how crazy clean that tail is, and the tail almost goes white at the end on both sides. So yeah, really funny looking animal. I'm sorry I'm getting excited about this. I mean, I shouldn't even apologize for that, but how cool is this that like this orange little baby popped out of nowhere, and then this thing did. So cool. So anyways, like I said, this wasn't the only clutch that had this. This wasn't the only clutch that the Hurricane Het Axanthic was bred to. I just think we're getting even more wacky, crazy animals out of this clutch, because there may have been a recessive, and that's what we're seeing now is the visual recessive, because we're breeding the dad to the mom, and we're able to get that, which sounds weird, but you know, in snakes is quite normal. A little bit of inbreeding isn't bad, and that happens in nature. So for argument's sake, we're gonna say that the Hurricane Het Axanthic has some sort of recessive gene or some sort of incomplete dominant gene. And we're going to breed that to an animal that doesn't have either that recessive or that incomplete dominant. So we're not gonna see animals quite this crazy looking or quite this orange as in this clutch. So I do want to flash another clutch picture up of what these guys look like as babies, just for a refresher. And then we're gonna go take a look at what was, again, the Hurricane Het Axanthic to an unrelated female Axanthic, and look at how different those babies are. But the cool thing is we still got orange babies, and we still got babies with conjoined strange pattern. Alright, so I'm not going to show this animal off for too long. This is from that second clutch, the Hurricane Het Axanthic to the Axanthic female, that they are unrelated. And this is a Hurricane Axanthic. You can see just how busy that dorsal is. A lot of it broken up, but it is controlling that dorsal a little bit, keeping it from completely fracturing like you see in some Axanthics. And then you can see how busy that side pattern is. Really, really cool, really, really busy. The Axanthic, though, is kind of controlling that hurricane pattern just a little bit. Not too much blowing or complete blowing out of alien heads, not too much complete swirling. But when you add the other homozygous hurricane, so the super hurricane or what's called a Hayabusa, to this, there should be complete swirling. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys this to show that the male before that I was showing, that Axanthic, is definitely not a Hurricane Axanthic. He's just gotta have something else going on with him. But let's go look at this one's siblings, this one's full-blooded siblings, and the other clutch's half-blooded siblings, to see what the other Dinker genes are, or Dinker snakes are, that we got out of this. Alright, so I believe that this is a Het Axanthic Dinker. And the reason why, even though it's not orange, I think that this is the heterozygous version of whatever is going on because of this weird conjoined pattern. And it's not just a little bit of conjoined pattern. You guys see that? It is literally from the neck down. He, excuse me, is not wanting to show that off. So I have a very strong suspicion that this is Het, whatever that weird stuff is. I mean, all of these alien heads are, almost all, I'd say 90% are dashed. See here it's like a dash instead of like two spots. Like even here it's trying to be two spots, but it's not letting it. And if there are spots, they're kind of squeezed and the alien heads are still conjoined until we get to the tail where it's very clean. If you also look at this guy's face, if he lets me grab it, nice and gentle like, you can see that he actually has a little booger, and on this side it's trying to have it as well. And that could possibly, I can't say for certain, but it's definitely not a normal thing to have, even for Het Axanthic, to have those little light marks on the face, or like the spot nose sort of little spots there, aka boogers, which is kind of a funny term, but hey, whatever. But yeah, he has some nice grandiness going on. When I first saw him in the egg, I was like, oh, is that possibly a Hurricane Het Axanthic? Because I mean, how odd this pattern is, I really couldn't tell. But after getting him out and seeing his dorsal and him not having any sort of, like besides, I mean, right here, like too many spots in it, and then also seeing his eye stripes and them being nice and wide, even though they are joined to the bottom jaw, which is really nice looking, then no, like I'm pretty sure he's not Hurricane. I'm pretty sure that he has, though, something else going on, which in my opinion would be the heterozygous, is what I'm thinking it is, gene that the dad has. Not sure, just thinking it. Super nice looking animal though, like wow. But we're gonna take a look at now one of his other siblings that is slightly orange, but again would have to be the heterozygous version of that. So let's go take a look at that. Okay, so what we're gonna take a look at first is a Hurricane Het Axanthic that I do not believe has the Dinker gene. And again, this is all just circumstantial right now, but I mean the evidence is really stacking up. We have, you know, a whole clutch that's showing, or almost the whole clutch that's showing some sort of influence of something that shouldn't be there, and then now this clutch that's showing that same influence just on a lower degree, making me think that it is either a super form of a codominant in the first clutch, or more likely a recessive that we're seeing the hets in this clutch, and in the first clutch we're seeing the visuals. So just trying to clear that up every time, because I'm not saying this is a for sure thing, just what the evidence is pointing to. But you can see just how stunning this girl is, and I'm gonna kick myself not for keeping her, but she is beautiful. So again, a Hurricane Het Axanthic. Look at that pattern, guys. We do see some conjoined pattern here. I really don't think that that's anything to make too big of a deal of, just because she is Hurricane, so that could be from that. We see her belly is a little bit more clean, or a lot more clean than a regular Hurricane. Normally that would be completely like blackened and speckled, but because of the Het Axanthic, I guess, is cleaning it up. That's the only thing I can think of. She has a little bit of a head stamp, but overall, really good quality, in my opinion, really good quality Hurricane Het Axanthic, and that's because, again, those Het Axanthics, or those hets in Hurricane, do tend to control the alien heads a little bit, and so even though it's trying to do that, I mean, she still has some really nice pattern. I especially like right over there, but pretty normal color, nothing too crazy as far as what you wouldn't expect. She's brighter than I would expect, but besides that, so we're gonna put her right here, and now we're gonna grab her brother, who I do believe is carrying this other gene, and he's kind of small. So I'm sorry, they're both small obviously, but I'm gonna try to get it so you guys hopefully can see the color difference in these two, and get her to ball back up again. Maybe. There we go. So as you hopefully can see with him just being right here, there's definitely a color difference between these two. I'm gonna try to get him out a little bit because he's a little shy. You guys see that difference there, how much lighter he is? And I really don't think that's polymorphism, because he is bright. Bright. Like something else going on bright. And if you look at his pattern, it is much more controlled, much more conjoined too, than the females below. A lot cleaner as far as the gravel influence. She's trying to go but can't get traction. See the gravel influence in her, and we're not seeing that in him. Not nearly as much. She's a lot more granity, speckly, and he's a lot cleaner. And then if we look at the dorsals, you can see that her dorsal is completely out of control. Has a lot of like fracturedness and craziness, and then his is much more like uniform blobs with just a little bit of speckle, the Hurricane speckles in there. So I think that he is Hurricane Het Axanthic, and then Het whatever else is going on, where she is just Hurricane Het Axanthic. That's what I'm assuming, and I'm going to be proving this out again hopefully this year, but for sure next year. Really cool looking. Of course it had to be of course I had to get like a visual of it in an animal that has, you know, silver, so basically it's just taking away that orange. But I mean, what better way to not know that you have something weird going on in your collection if it was tied into, you know, genes that take away color. You have a color mutation in a axanthic animal. Of course you're not gonna know. So I don't know, I can see the plausibility of it. I just don't want to believe it. And then also I see the proof in both clutches now. We're getting really weird animals that definitely, I mean, if it was just one or two, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's a fluke. But I mean, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 animals right there. 7 if you count the Axanthic that I have that has a little bit of influence going on, but I'm not going to get out because it's nothing you haven't seen here. So that's a lot of proof, in my opinion, and that's a lot of that's a lot for me to be ignoring, I feel like. So I'm gonna be investigating this. I'm gonna be proving it out. I do just want to again show off the color difference real fast, and then I'm gonna put this girl away. Thought y'all might like a little side-by-side of the Hurricane, what I think is visual, whatever's going on, other gene, and then this is the Hurricane Het, whatever's going on. Of course, both these guys are also Het Axanthic, so really crazy. But I cannot stress again how orange this guy is. Nuts. Absolutely bonkers. Absolutely crazy. But I'm going to make this video too long if I keep talking about and getting too passionate about this. But thank you guys again so much for watching. If you liked this video, why not go ahead and give it a like and subscribe for more content, because we are going to have a lot more crazy animals going on, and of course I am going to be investigating just what is going on with these guys. So if you want to maybe see what's going on with that, want to follow along, I would love to have you here for the journey. In the description below we have plenty of links to Facebook, website, availability lists and whatnot. Would love to hear from you guys and have you guys follow on Facebook. That is probably the best way to get a hold of me if you want. Otherwise, just really thank you guys for your continued support, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.